It's time for Laremy Tunsil to start at left guard for the Miami Dolphins. We're tired of Billy Turner. We're tired of Dallas Thomas. Neither of them had great games on the first preseason game last Friday at New York against the Giants. And Laremy Tunsil had a great game, even though he was going against second stringers. If you watch the film from him, if you watch the game in general, and you looked at Laremy Tunsil, the dude was up and down the field blocking. He had very good blocks to create holes for running backs. He was making sure that Brandon Dowdy, Zach Dyser, and Matt Moore had protection in the pocket. So really, unlike Billy Turner and Dallas Thomas, he was putting in his production level. And you see a lot of people talk about how you know that someone has it within their first game and then within their first 6 games of the regular season, or first 8 games of the regular season. And two guys that I can tell have it and will be great in the NFL right now that are on the Miami Dolphins are Laremy Tunsil and Jakeem Grant. Now, this video isn't going to be about Jakeem Grant. I'm going to have a separate one for Jakeem Grant, but it's time for Laremy Tunsil to start. Laremy Tunsil has shown that he has what it takes to be a starter in the NFL. Obviously, right now, we have to wait for Adam Gase to say if he's going to start on Friday or not, but a lot of us hope that he does. One, because Tannehill needs protection in the pocket. A lot of people are going to roast Tannehill, saying he's not the greatest quarterback, saying that he's not worth it. A lot of the things that his contract is too much. But at the same time, if you look back at Tannehill's protection over the years that he's been the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, he hasn't had great protection at all, barely any. He's been the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. He gets sacked basically almost, I would say, 1 out of every 4 plays, somewhere around that. Not sacked, but he gets hit. At least maybe 1 out of every 4 plays that he gets hit. And the Miami Dolphins are really lucky that he's that durable, because we would have had to rely on Matt Moore. And let's say Matt Moore goes down, then we have to rely on Logan Thomas last year. So really, you have a lot of unproven guys behind Tannehill. And although a lot of people don't like Tannehill, and they find every little thing to roast Tannehill, to say he's not a good quarterback, you look back at this guy and see what he does. His touchdown to interception ratio is very great. It's really, really good. Not only is his touchdown to interception ratio good, but he is a good quarterback. Maybe not a tier 1 quarterback. Maybe he's a tier 2. In my opinion, he would be a tier 2 quarterback. But he is a good quarterback. He wasn't, you guys have to remember, he wasn't originally a quarterback. He was a wide receiver at Texas A&M and then switched to quarterback. So it's not his natural position. So it could have been it could have been a bad thing for the Dolphins to draft him, but at the same time, he's given you great production out of the quarterback position. So you can't be a Dolphins fan and be pissed off that this guy has not been giving you production when he has over the past couple of years. Granted, there are things that, come in the way of them not getting to the playoffs, but if you really look at the things in the past couple of years, it hasn't been his fault that they haven't been getting to the playoffs. It's been the fault of the defense. If you notice, every single year under Joe Philbin, they started off strong, and then at the end of the year, it was the defense that started to decline. Yes, maybe they didn't score a lot of points, but they were still getting wins, and the defense at the end of the year would continue to give up. It was never the offense that gave up at the end of the year. It was always the defense that gave up at the end of the year. So you can't really pinpoint that on Tannehill. So you look back at Tunsil. You drafted Laremy Tunsil. He's supposed to be the guy to come in and be that franchise player, to play 15 seasons in the NFL at left guard and to be a Hall of Famer. And it looks like he can be that. If I was the Miami Dolphins right now, I would be starting Laremy Tunsil, see what he could do with the ones, and even just play around. I mean, these next 2 games, yeah, you're gonna have more starters play, but play around with everything. See how you like certain things. See how you see people who fit better with what. Get to know and get to see what you like with what system fit. That's what the preseason's for, to see what your rookies can do, your undrafted guys can do, and to give chances to guys who never really get them. Put them in with the first team. Put some of the first team in with the third team. See if they can still show what they need to show within every other thing. With every set that you put them in, they should be able to perform. If they don't, that's when you know that guy's got to go. That's the first round of cuts you got to have. But it's not that case with Laremy Tunsil. Laremy Tunsil has proven, I know I've been going a little bit off track, but everything that I've been going off track with goes back to the same point of Laremy Tunsil needs to start at left guard for the Miami Dolphins. Tannehill needs protection. He can give that to you. Whether you replace him with Billy Turner or Dallas Thomas, either way, one of them has to be replaced. One of them's got to go. Laremy Tunsil should be your starter for the Miami Dolphins at left guard by next Friday.